So last night at the State of the Union address, several Democratic politicians protested. Al Green stood up and said that there was no mandate to cut Medicaid. Some people turned their backs on the president. Some people held up signs. Bernie Sanders walked out, and some people didn't attend at all, like AOC or Maxine Waters. Now, I'm not necessarily against this, and I'm not necessarily for what I'm about to mention, but if you follow Taiwanese politics, like whenever I go to my grandma's house, you will see how hard they go when it comes to protesting things in democracy. This is from last year. Usually there's a chair involved, like you see in the corner over there. Like, someone always throws a chair. We love it. But basically, this was over legislative reforms being blocked by two minority parties from the DPP. And the DPP, my grandmother's party, was very upset about this, and so they started fighting over it. This is from last December. They were throwing water bottles at each other in this one, and I believe it was a fight over how you could remove people from office, and some people were trying to make it harder while some people were trying to keep protections in place. This is from 2020 when KMT lawmakers threw pig guts and intestines onto the floor of Parliament because they were protesting U.S. imports. If you understand Taiwan, it's an island nation. They have a ton of pigs. They have a ton of pork. And they were concerned about certain American U.S. pork imports because they contained certain additives that are banned in Taiwan. And so this was their form of protest. This is also from 2020, again, with the KMT trying to block the DPP party from entering into the Parliament by using a series of chairs as a blockade. This is from 2017. This guy over here is throwing a chair. I believe this person on the bottom right is throwing a water balloon. Some people were also blasting air horns in order to protest a light rail project that involved also some flood control measures. This is in 2020. This is the DPP, my grandmother's party, the Green Party, and they are wearing raincoats and using shields to block water balloons being thrown by the KMT in protest of a nomination of someone to a government watchdog position. The KMT also was like throwing down voting booths so people couldn't actually vote on this measure. So you might be wondering, why does this happen? Isn't this kind of ridiculous? Well, in general, what you'll see is that these are politicians who are trying to prove to their constituents that they care about the issues and that they are very passionate about the issues. Therefore, they need to make a big show of how passionate they are in Parliament, which often results in these types of fights and protests. This does happen in the United States from time to time, but not very often. But I personally think that there are times when this reaction is warranted because there are times when legislation is being passed that is blatant corruption. But I also find it always to be quite entertaining.